Judah. Judah actually plays a very significant role in the movie as well. I'm not going to tell what he does, but he...
Yeah. If this is the greatest film, or the most anticipated film of the decade, mine is the greatest cameo of the decade. Because, can I just say my role? It's pretty funny though. So, last time I was in a film, it was like 10 years ago, or plus ago, and I was the student. Okay, I was a student, now I'm the principal. That's messed up, man. I love you, but you just called out my age. Okay.
You look the same though, when you were a student and a principal.
That's right, it's called makeup. Okay, so here we go. So Daniel, how was it for you to make this film as a director?
Well, it was, of course, gut-wrenching at first.
Gut-wrenching?
Because how many opportunities do you get to work with Baldwin, with all these other great actors, and I came from the background. I usually work behind the scenes, so now I had to step up as a director, and it's really truly a blessing from God. And there were lots of hurdles, but ultimately God has really delivered.
Yeah, and if I could just say something about the directing, quite interesting too. It was almost a collaborative effort on the directing because of Faith, right? He's always gone on Saturdays. He does some ministry work on Saturdays. So while he was gone, others had to direct. And then we had other issues with people not being there for schedules and such. So, at any given time, I think we probably had 5 different, even Baldwin was directing. So we had, 5 different people directing. Jesse Christian did a couple scenes. Andy did a couple of scenes. I think Alvin was directing scenes, right? But the beauty of this thing, if you have the right people and you can get along and get this stuff done, man, you can change the world because that's never happened. You have collaborative directing. That usually spells not good things. I mean, you're not going to finish the movie. So
makeup artists, directing, utility guys, directing. Everyone's directing.
It was good. I mean, all the talents were seen. Everybody rose up to the challenge, and a lot were first timers. But then I guess it was just by, of course, by God that everybody did their roles. Everybody studied well. Everybody didn't try to step on each other, and ultimately came out awesome.
There you go. And when it comes to the film's message, how was it for you to communicate that as a director? Because I believe that this is the first time you've done this, right? As a Christian who's producing a Christian film, you weren't able to do this prior to that. Now, how is it for you as a director to be able to express your faith?
Definitely, it was something very powerful. I had a lot of during the production of the movie. There were times when I would have really testing stages, and so God really just sort of directed everything as well. So on my side, seeing all the other kinds of material, the kinds of media out there promoting, shady things.
Sample nga. Ano mga just kidding.
No. Okay, so it's nice to have a movie that really it's in your face about the Bible, instead of having to be a secret agent, having to mask like
undercover Christian.
So there, it was a good medium to express. It's just the tip of the faith. So it's just getting to know Jesus as the beginning, but that's just the start of the Christian walk. After that, it's really so much deeper. You really have to do it intentionally.
It's the journey, the beginning of the journey.
Yes.
With a good friend. Boom, there you go. Okay, so Tarny, could you tell us about the company behind this film, Perkins Inspired Film?
Yeah, so we put a company together called Perkins Inspired Flicks. As I mentioned, I worked with Alvin early on to kind of conceive how can we do things differently in the country, and Jesse mentioned it too. It wasn't just a movie about doing the right thing. It was a movie about putting the Philippines in a favorable light. You know, I remember, never forget this, I was in Hong Kong working for 10 years, and I remember reading the front page of the South China Morning Post, and it said, "Woman in Philippines gives birth to fish." And I remember that thinking, why does the Philippines always get such bad press in every single thing, right? And it's always highlighted. And part of it is, what we show on films and stuff is not the greatest things. I mean, you really want to make sure that what we're doing here shows the Philippines in a positive, because this is a great country. We moved back here 5 years ago because we want to be here, not because somebody made us come here, right? All of us are here because we love this country. But the movies don't necessarily depict that. Not that they're bad or good, I'm just saying, putting the Philippines in a favorable light was really one of the number one things we wanted to do. So that was it.
Yeah, the movie, sometimes being Christian or being spiritual, you get tagged that you're judgmental. And we, as Christians, we have to be careful, because when you get too righteous sometimes, you have a tendency to be judgmental, but that's in the Bible. You cannot judge because God will judge you. So this movie is not about judging anyone. In fact, the film is about restoration and you know, don't judge. We all sin. And you know, if you judge a person, how can you bring him closer to God? Basically, you know, so that's it.
Yeah, sorry, one thing. I might just add, we talked to a massive PR company in the United States. We showed them the script, and we'll have an announcement about that company soon when we do the US release. But what that company said when they saw the script, they said, we rarely see a faith-based script of this nature, and they called it a Trojan horse, meaning that it's an awesome movie and you don't really know that Jesus is involved until Jesus is involved. So they loved the script because it wasn't preachy, as Alvin was saying. There's no judgment, there's no nothing here. It's just like a beautiful story where the flowers bloom, the birds sing. You know, it's almost like a 70s movie where good things were happening, but it's dealing with today, the here and now of depression and drinking and drugs and all that stuff, but we can overcome that stuff, and that's what the movie's really all about.
To continue, a lot of the movie shows what it's like being a Christian behind the doors, because when you're in church, everybody just thinks everything is fine, but Christians also have a lot of struggles, and the one way to deal with it is really to just really have a relationship with God. So again, the movie shows a lot of that. It shows the contrast between without walking with God and walking with God. So we hope it helps a lot of the youth right now, especially with the rise of suicides and depression. It's really a problem in the country.
So basically the whole word behind this film is consideration. Consider the option, the alternative, which is a life with God, with purpose, identity, meaning, rather than trying to figure things out on our own, by our own misguided, broken compass. Thank you. I thank myself. Anyway, so thank you for that. Good stuff. Okay, okay. So thank you for that. But so after Kaibigan, there's the big question: what's next?
Okay, so we actually have set up a new company. So Perkins Flicks will continue to do movies, but we've set up a new company that actually is doing nothing but family-friendly, faith-based films, TV, media. So we're actually looking at bringing artists in and really trying to get them as big as secular artists so that they can talk about the Word of God. Again, not in your face, but just to be role models, because we want to create more role models that are actually not drinking, not taking drugs, not doing all this stuff, right? Because that's what we all need. But we actually have 3 projects. I was just talking to Alvin about one this morning. I mean, we have 3 projects in the boards right now. We're writing a script for a TV series, which we have verbal ready to go on. We have 2 other movies. One is a Hollywood movie, which will be based on 2 journals that we own the rights to, a war movie, which is unbelievable, never been done before. So we're going to the US now looking for funding for that, because it's massive. It's a big, big deal. And then 2 more Filipino movies. Most of the rest, some will be in English, but most will be in Tagalog. So that's moving forward, and that's a joint venture. There'll be a new announcement about this company soon. I can't tell you the name of the company, but it's a big, big company here. And now we're looking for other partners in the entertainment industry, because we're also suggesting that we can do better, all of us in the industry, on time, within budget, treating people well and fairly and all that stuff. We think we can do that if we bring the right people together. So we're running it as a corporation to make sure all this stuff happens, and then bringing in experts like, for example, Alvin and others, they really know how to do the production side of things. So that's the future for us, and we appreciate your prayers, but it looks good, and we hope we open up the door for other companies to do the same thing, and increase the quality, you know, the frequency of the movies, all that kind of stuff. So that's coming up next.
That's awesome. How about you, Alvin? What's next for you?
Incidentally, I'm doing another two movies after this that deals with mental health. A lot of really, this film deals with bullying, drugs, and all that stuff, mental health, depression. But there's a lot of films coming out that really deals with, especially with the millennials, on mental health, and it's a big issue. A lot of people, you know, committing suicide and stuff. That's why, besides the chemical imbalance in our body, you got to take, if you're bipolar, you got to take medication, but you also have to have on the spiritual side. It's already hard it is to do life without God, but you know, you got to combine science and spiritual, and just, you know, hopefully this type of film will help people.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all those great answers, guys. I'm gonna tell.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've had enough of you. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's time for you guys to take your seat over there and enjoy the meal.
I'm just gonna
Thanks,
thank the
Derek.
press again. Maraming po salamat sa inyo lahat.
Yeah, thank you
Kuya
guys.
Jobert, sa inyo po lahat, tulungan niyo po na
Okay, so now-
tulungan natin ang movie na ito. Maraming po salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Put your hands together for Alvin Anson.